Stop using kids as props! Stop using kids as props!
Why is God putting so many of these souls in the wrong body these days? Is he on a bender or something? Is he drunk?
Thousands took to the streets in cities across British Columbia Wednesday to protest schools teaching children about sexual orientation and gender identity, known as SOGI. The demonstration was called 1 Million March for Children, and its organizers said the goal of the protest was to, quote, protect our children from indoctrination and sexualization. Organizers also raised concerns about mixed bathrooms, puberty blockers, and gender ideology as a whole. In a statement, the City of Vancouver told Coastal Front that while it supports the right to protest, it, quote, reiterates its stance in the face of hate. Expectedly, the planned demonstrations prompted large counter-protests. Coastal Front attended the demonstrations in Vancouver with the intention of covering things impartially, providing an open platform for individuals from both sides of the demonstration to share their perspectives without restraint.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck you, faggot. Record me, bitch. Fuck you, fag. You make our nation look bad. Fuck you.
What is SOGI? What is gender identity? What does that mean to you?
So SOGI is a curriculum created by students of British Columbia. I was part of them in the year of 2015 to 2017, and it was fully implemented in about 2018, 2019. SOGI is basically a curriculum approved by educators and administrators about the education of queer identities, which can go anywhere from people through history, through present time, what's happening in modern days, and especially the most important thing is gender-neutral bathrooms.
How dare you come here and tell us that we are not being kind to children, friends, family members who have died because they were told that they were not enough. That is despicable and disgusting, and you should be ashamed of yourselves.
There's a big movement. It's in the schools, it's in government, it's in positions of power, pushing the notion that it's okay and maybe even better to change your gender when you're a child, if you feel like you are of the wrong gender, okay? And so I very much believe, I don't even think it's opinion, I think it's just very right and very obvious that it's not appropriate. Kids cannot, their brain doesn't allow them to know if they're the wrong gender, if that's even a thing.
One of the things I'm hearing a lot of about this protest that you're a part of, opposing SOGI and quote-unquote gender ideology, is that it's a right-wing movement. How does that make you feel as a self-proclaimed socialist?
Well, I mean, the thing is, you can't identify your way into the left anymore. You can identify your way into whiteness, blackness, masculinity, femininity. So I guess actual socialists are no longer part of the left. All right, then. I'll roll with the punches. My principles are based in the writings of Marx, Engels, Lenin, and St. Augustine of Hippo. I'm happy with my socialism. One of the things I find really weird about these folks, the counter-protesters, the guys who won't let us speak, that's not how counter-protesting works. This is a practice developed by Quakers, and the idea is that if you're doing a real counter-protest, you walk up to someone on the other side and you try and see their inner light and get them to see yours and engage them in a dialogue. And I had the very good fortune to get to do that today. I got to talk with a young woman. We had two very fruitful conversations. We understood each other. We understood why our perspectives were different. And I was very pleased she gave me her email address at the end, and we're going to keep talking. Because that's what every counter-protester should want, is to engage with one of us as human beings and help us to see common ground.
Why is everyone booing you right now?
No, because I was standing beside a guy from the other side. There was a guy from the non-group I was standing beside, so they put me in with that group. So they lumped us together, of course, color of my skin, my age, my gender.
The vibe is intense right now.
But they sprayed his camera with ink.
They were screaming at you, calling you a transphobe. Are you a transphobe?
I don't even know what it is. I'm on nobody's side, zero person side. I come down here to try to make some impactful photographs. It's a demonstration. People are carrying placards there. If they don't think that they're not going to get a photograph taken, they're very, very, very naive. Everybody had it taken on both sides, but once the police left, all the brave ones came around, circled me, pushing me, screaming in my ears, so filled with hate, and I don't hate them. I don't hate any of them. Why should I hate any of them? I don't. It was just amazing how hateful that group is, and just incredible amount of hate, and I just tried to keep calm.
I've been around asking, what's SOGI? I'd love to know what you think SOGI is. They don't know what SOGI is. All they hear is sexual orientation, gender identity, and they get scared. They're scared of what they don't know. It's a curriculum approved by administrators, by educators, people who have actually gone to school, who've gotten degrees. They did surveys all through British Columbia about trans acceptance and gender-neutral bathrooms, and how much more inclusivity they had for trans students in schools when they had gender-neutral bathrooms. I went to school with someone who got their face dunked in the toilet because they were female appearing and they had to go into a male assigned bathroom.
Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone!
This is a crazy idea. It's like, well, we had these pre-existent gendered souls, no one can detect them, and lately God's been making a lot of mistakes about which body to put them in. And that's what we're dealing with here. The thing that calls itself the left has become a religious movement, a fanatical religious movement, because shouting people down, refusing to let them assemble, that's not what a proper socialist does. That is what a fundamentalist religious fanatic does. Just one of the few things that received a unanimous vote in last Parliament was the legislation criminalizing anyone trying to treat a trans-identified child for cutting, for anorexia, for bulimia, for any other self-harming behavior. That carries a minimum 6-month, maximum 3.5-year sentence in prison simply for trying to resolve these children's issues through something other than hormones, chemical castration drugs, and let's be clear, the thing we were calling until 5 minutes ago, child genital mutilation. Why is it so damn wrong when Christians and Muslims in Sudan do that to their daughters, but when parents here do exactly the same thing? Instead of going to the UN and saying this atrocity must be stopped, we go, you're so brave! You are brave and stunning! You know, I used to wonder, who was going to these FGM parties in Sudan? Because there was a big party in the town when they cut off a little girl's clitoris. And now I know, because they're here.
You know, there was some violent encounters. How do you feel about the violence?
I don't really condone violence, for any of it on either side. I think it's kind of, it kind of defeats your point, right? Well, personally, I stand for trans rights, being a trans person myself. The other side, the side that I personally don't agree with, would probably be the gays against groomers side. Personally, I think that the LGBTQ community is harmless, and it's a very important part of a lot of people's identity. And but kudos to them, they, instead of just sitting behind a screen and hurling insults, they actually, came out. You can't say that for everybody.